Farmers in the Caribbean are actually starting to document their local knowledge. So they are observing with longer drought periods, I need to change the types of crops I plant. So I'm not a farmer, so I shouldn't plant tomatoes, I should plant root crops or whatever. They're changing the type of crops. And there's also a lot of work being done by scientists, but also with farmers involved in testing different varieties which respond better to the more increased drought and then the heavier rainfall events. So there are actually concrete things on the ground, and then some of it is going back to just the sustainable agriculture. How do we do contour planting so there's not erosion? Now let's go to drip irrigation. So just kind of things that they know for decades. As well as going back to the more traditional methods of farming, not the big monocultures. There's a whole big initiative as well looking at permaculture, which is very exciting. There's work being done out of Trinidad and out of Grenada and a couple other islands. So there's a lot actually happening on the ground in a very concrete way, and there's potential for different islands in the Caribbean to be learning from each other. And CANARI is doing a lot of work trying to gather local knowledge of people on what they're seeing in terms of climate impacts and what are they doing. And we have some tools and methods we're using to capture local knowledge because that knowledge is important in terms of how can we build resilience. So really, rather than studying it far away, who better to ask than the farmers? What do you think you can do? So we're doing things like using video to capture oral testimony, interviewing people, but also using participatory mapping, participatory 3D modeling, where we create a whole model of an area, and capturing local knowledge on that, and that allows us to geo-reference, so put into a GIS map, and integrate local knowledge on what's happening in an area with the scientific knowledge. So really building the human capital, bringing in local knowledge and scientific knowledge together and combining it. But fundamentally, we need to strengthen our natural resources, our ecosystems. We need healthier coral reefs, better forests, covered watersheds, better mangroves, and that really will build our resilience. So strengthening our natural capital and natural ecosystems will be fundamental.